These are 5 life-changing lessons that I've learned from living inside of my Honda Element for the past 5 years. And I'm here to share those lessons with you if you're an aspiring van lifer or if you're just curious. That's what this video is going to be all about. Let's get into it. So minimalism is easy, not hard. And by living inside of a vehicle, you are inherently living a minimal lifestyle. I think initially minimalism is hard because you have to get rid of all of the things that you really care and love. For me, it was my Pokemon card collection, and I also had this hand-drawn painting, and these are 2 things that I struggled so hard with to get rid of. Once I eventually made the decision to get rid of those things, I was finally free. I had freedom now. I was like, okay, I don't have anything to tie me down to a location, and I also don't have it in the back of my mind worrying about my Pokemon card collection being stolen from inside of my vehicle. While it was difficult to make that decision, once that decision was made and I let those things go, I was free. I was free from the chains of my Pokemon card collection, and I was free to explore, and it freed up space in my head as well to explore other opportunities, other artistic pursuits. And it's funny how the things that you have can weigh you down. Even if they're not there all the time, like in the back of your subconscious, I feel like they're there. Like right now I have 2 Honda Elements, and while I don't see the tan Honda Element, the unicorn, very much, it's still there in the back of my mind. I know it's parked there somewhere, and I know there's work that needs to be done on it, and it just sits there occupying a little bit of my mind space in here. But I love it, and right now I'm in a space where I can have both of those things because I'm not traveling so much. So this was kind of a tough pill for me to swallow, but nobody cares. Nobody cares that you live inside of your vehicle. When I started to do this van life journey, I did it almost in secret. I didn't tell anybody about it, about my plans, because I felt shame for moving into a vehicle for some reason. I felt that people would look at me kind of like a dirtbag. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Maybe it was mostly in my head, I'm sure. Once I started to get a bit more comfortable with this lifestyle, I started to invite more people in and kind of show them how I lived. And rather than being met with judgment, I was met with curiosity. And a lot of that curiosity was positive. They're just like, oh, that's kind of cool. You get to go anywhere and do whatever you want. And a lot of the common questions would come up, like, where do you sleep? Where do you poop? Where do you shower? All of those things. It was about a year or 2 into my whole van life situation where I started to play with the idea of sharing this journey on YouTube because so many people had so many questions about the lifestyle. So that's when I started to pivot my YouTube channel from just outdoor hiking content into van life, sort of Honda Element living content. And I think that was a great choice. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and now I have the ability to share how I live with people who enjoy it. And it's a ton of fun. I get to combine all of the things I love: outdoors, cars, and making videos. So it's a win-win. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares how you live your life. And there's a meme to that, right? It's like, on the one end, you can look at it and be like, oh, nobody cares, how sad. But then you can also look at it, how I look at it, like, hey, nobody cares. You're kind of free to do whatever you want and live however you like. And that's a beautiful thing. So when it comes to living inside of a vehicle, sometimes bigger is not always better. And like my ex-girlfriend used to say, sometimes you need something that's just the perfect size. And that's exactly what the Honda Element is. So having a big vehicle like this van here does have its pros, where you can store more stuff, you can sleep more people, but you're gonna lose a ton of gas mileage. It's gonna make it harder to park because this is a commercial vehicle, so there's a lot of restrictions on where you can park this vehicle. Unlike the Honda Element, which is just a passenger vehicle, which means I can park it anywhere, I can maneuver in really tight parking lots. So if I had to make the choice again, I would definitely choose my Element over a bigger van like something like this. And I actually have firsthand experience purchasing a bigger van. I'll tell you all about that right now. When I started my van life, car life, whatever you want to call it, journey, I picked the Honda Element because it was smaller, because it was stealthier, because I was going to be able to travel farther and pay less in gas. 3.5 years into my van life journey, I was obsessing over this idea of getting a bigger van because I wanted to sleep more people, I wanted more space, I wanted to be able to cook inside. So I did it. I ended up getting a medium roof Ford Transit, and immediately I started to recognize some of the cons of having a bigger vehicle. Gas was super expensive at that time, and that thing took a ton of gas. It was just gonna be more expensive to maintain. All of a sudden I had a car payment. So I kept that Ford Transit for about a month, and it ended up having some like mechanical issues right away. And I just took that as a sign, and I went back to the Honda Element. And I'm so glad that I did, because now I have that freedom, which I initially wanted, to just go wherever I want, not worry about the gas mileage as much, park wherever I want, be super stealthy. And all of those pros definitely outweigh the cons of having a bigger van. So bigger is not always better. One of the reasons I initially started this whole van life thing was because I wanted to achieve some sort of financial freedom. So I took all of that rent money and I started to invest it, and I built myself a little nest egg which I could fall back on. And just simply having that little nest egg, like 6 months to a year of just like all of your expenses paid, it gave me the freedom to pursue things that I was passionate about and not worry about them not working out, because I knew I had this like nest egg to fall back on. But I kind of took it to the extreme. I was eating like peanut butter and jellies every day, rice and beans. I was never eating out, ever, ever, ever. Never buying coffee. I was hardcore. But since then, after some years have passed and I had my financial base, I was able to relax a bit on that. I was able to spend more on my tango adventures, which I really enjoy, invest a little bit of money into my YouTube channel, and then also into the Honda Element itself. And also like to go out on like fun dates and stuff like that. Now I say I have a bit more of a balance, where originally when I was doing this, I was just so hardcore. I only did things that were free. If I went to dinner, sometimes I wouldn't even eat dinner with everybody. I wouldn't bring my own food, but I would just get like appetizers or something small, just because I wanted to hang out with people, but I didn't want to go out and order the food. So now my quality of life has definitely improved, but I'm a little bit more relaxed. But that was only because I was able to build that financial base, because I lived in my element for those first few years. See, old Steven would never dream of doing this and paying $12 for an acai bowl. Wow, this is delicious. I've had them before, especially on a hot day like today. Ooh, look at that. So the final lesson I wanted to share is community, and the importance and value of community, especially when you're living a solo van life situation. Now, inherently, if you're in a van, you're going to spend quite a lot of time on your own, which I particularly enjoy. I can't even remember at this time if I've always enjoyed just having time to myself. I think the answer is yes. But of course, there are always times when you want to seek out friends and community. So I think it's important. I think it's important to have some sort of community which you can call if you're ever feeling kind of lonely, or if you just want someone to hang out with. That community for me, it looks like family. Also surrounds the activities that I enjoy, starting with acro yoga and just yoga back in the day. Then it evolved into the tango community. And nowadays, lately, it's been the Honda Element community, which is also a very fun community to be a part of. And you should join. You should join us. You should get a Honda Element and join the crew for sure. But yeah, not every day is going to be a perfect, beautiful, sunny day while you're living in a van or a car. There are inevitably going to be days where you have something break down, or you have some sort of like tire blowout, or maybe mentally you're just not doing so great that day and you want someone to call on, or someone to call you so you distract you from your problems temporarily. And I think that's where the importance of the community lies, is when of course you're down, you can seek help, and then also when you're feeling up, you can reach out and help other people. And I think that's an important aspect of community, is that you can't go there just to take all the time. You have to give back as well. And I think that's what makes community a community. I'm rambling now. This is fun. So yeah, those are 5 life-changing lessons I've learned from living inside of my Honda Element for these past 5 years. It's been a super fun journey, and we're continue on, baby. We're pushing through. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.